Welcome. As you saw from the video, LiveU's LU800. We are LiveU, and we have just introduced the 800, actually just a little bit last year, and we're extremely excited about this product as something that we, as the industry leader of live remote video production, really believe this is totally a game changer. We call it changing the rules of the game. My name is Scott Sheehan. I'm the LiveU Partner Account Manager, joined by a few of my colleagues here today. Kung T, who is going to give us a demo a little bit later on in the event. A couple other folks, Joyce Essing and George Klippel, joining the event today. Will be monitoring our chat room in the background. We're also joined today by our co-host for the event, Digital Video Group, and representing the Digital Video Group is the VP of Sales, Doug Davidson. And I'm going to let Doug take the mic for a second and give him an opportunity to introduce you to all about Digital Video Group. Welcome, Doug.
Thank you, Scott, and welcome everyone to this webinar hosted by DVG and LiveU. As Scott said, my name is Doug Davidson. And for those of you that are unfamiliar with Digital Video Group, we're a reseller and systems design and integrator headquartered in Ashland, Virginia, which is a suburb of Richmond, Virginia. We also have offices in Southeast Virginia, Northern Virginia, Maryland, excuse me, and satellite offices in the Carolinas and Tennessee. Our relationship with LiveU began almost 7 years ago, our first sale going to a broadcast station in Oklahoma. Part of a group that we've had a long-term relationship with. I'm gonna brag a little bit here. 5 years later, DVG was rated LiveU's #1 reseller in the United States. Had to take that opportunity, sorry. In the early days, the LiveU product was looked at as an option to expensive microwave, dark fiber, and satellite as a means of transmitting video over medium to long distances. Today, the product lineup is so much more than that. The different type of customers that we find LiveU offers a solution for has stopped surprising us. And what we really like about the LiveU products is they're simple. They're simple to operate. They're affordable and they're incredibly reliable. Today, as Scott mentioned, the webinar is going to focus on the latest LiveU offering, the LU800. For remote production, this is definitely a game changer. So on behalf of the entire DVG family, I'd like to thank you for attending this virtual event. And with that, Scott, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thanks, Doug. Awesome. And Digital Video Group, always our thanks goes out to, again, one of our top authorized resellers in the US. Appreciate it. Thank you, Doug. Jumping right into it. So a little bit about who LiveU is. Um, as the slide says, proven experts in live video solutions. We invented the technology. I'll tell you a little bit more about the technology in a second. We are the industry leader. You can read the numbers down below that represent somewhere in the neighborhood of up to 65% market share of a very fast growing market. As Doug said, it once was what it was. It's now a lot more than that relative to the number of markets that are picking it up. And you can see a list of them here, again, without me having to read the entire slide. With the 800, which we're going to feature today, you're going to see, again, some game-changing rules for adding to what we've already, the innovation that we've already brought to the market with HEVC and HD and 4K, and now things like 5G. Again, that's a little bit about who we are, a global industry leader. And again, a little bit about the technology. It is based upon our patented bonded cellular technology and another thing we call LRT, or LiveU Reliable Transport. So this is the technology that goes into taking a bunch of IP connectivity, whether that's cellular modems, whether that's Wi-Fi, whether that's internet, and putting them all into a big pipe and then adding what I like to call the math. This is the secret sauce that goes into, packet ordering, forward error correction, and adaptive bitrate following to really, at the end of the day, the thing that's important to you is, as Doug said, a very reliable transport system that begins with encoding, transporting it across that bonded cellular technology with LRT, and hitting decoders on the other end, and then bringing it into your studio where production and play out begins or ends. And that play out can be over SDI, NDI, or RTMP for a full over-the-top video production solution that allows you to keep the entire production facility at your home, in your studio, wherever it may be, and you're only sending out the encoders into the field to get the video. In addition, at the bottom right-hand corner is something we call matrix. So taking things to a whole new level over the last couple of years to again use IP as a distribution system for things like a major news network eliminating, satellite and being able to distribute their content to hundreds of affiliates across the country. So that's a little bit about the background of the technology. These are the four major pillars, and it's really three major pillars with the encoders, two on the left, portable encoders, and I'm going to come back to that pillar in a second. Contribution encoders, so a fixed facility or a truck encoders. The decoders, we talked about a family of decoders, one that supports 4K, others that's, have different numbers of SDI outputs, all supporting NDI and SRTMP, and a cloud server. So for instances where maybe security is an issue, or other instances where you just need to go to the cloud with your final output. On the right, I'm not going to talk to all of that at the moment, but keep that pillar in mind. Those are the things that LiveU has innovated to take the elements on the left into a whole new world of remote video production. And I'm going to talk to that in a second. Coming back to the far left, it begins with, a product called Solo, which we sell hundreds, thousands of into, IRL, Twitch, folks doing weddings. These are your prosumer users or your professional, whatever users that, frankly speaking, through COVID just went through the roof. A mobile app we call LiveU Smart. Then you move up into the products that really make LiveU shine. The LU300, the LU600, the LU800. The 300 and 600 have been our flagship products for the last 3 to 4 or 5 years. And today, what we're going to show you is how we've now changed the rules, taken these really, really good sellers, very popular, highly reliable products, and changed the rules with the LU800. This is the current way. And I would be remiss to not mention the LU300 and the 600 and all the things that the LU300 and 600 can do. This just gives you a little bit of, this is a sports venue. You got 4 devices out there, sending video back, all in sync, video return, all sorts of things that you can do today with remote video production with the 300 and 600. But today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about changing the rules of the game with the LU800. So from that previous slide, now look what you've got. You've got a single device taking all 4 cameras, feeds back to TV station, production room, home studio. So you're enriching your outdoor production capabilities because you're doing all of this by simply sending a single device out to the field, reducing costs. We're already reducing costs by keeping the studio at home. Now you're doing it with a single LU800 to carry all these video signals back and get video returned back to you. Really go live anywhere, anytime, any place. Okay. And what 5G brings to the table is just taking that whole transport of 4G, the Wi-Fi, to the next level. We have technology relationships with all the major carriers. So what LiveU is doing as the industry leader is bringing new technology into new ways to change the rules for how you do production. Here's another view of another innovation. So in addition to everything we just talked about, now you don't even need to have 4 cameramen out in the field. You could literally, for certain events, put 4 PTZ cameras out in the field, set them up, and control the entire production back from the studio. IP pipe is what enables that. This is our latest innovation, which simply opens up a camera control over IP from the studio back to the 800 and gives you full control over all of those cameras to bring live video signals back. You know, here we show, 3 talking heads out on the street or wherever they may be. They're around a table. That could be a conference room. That could be a sporting event. That could be a concert. When I say a sporting event, a boxing match. Really any place where you could set up 4 cameras in either with cameramen or with PTZs, set them up and run the entire event from 100 miles, 1,000 miles, 50 miles away, very low delay from lens to the output of the switcher, 800 milliseconds. If you do happen to be on internet, you can actually bring that down as low as 600 milliseconds and all in sync. So precision timing is another LiveU innovation that allows you to bring all of those cameras back to the switcher in sync, in time to be switched, which is, it's not even a nice to have, it's a need to have, especially in sporting events. So a couple different ways in which you might do that switching of those 4 cameras. The obvious way, we just talked about it. 4 cameras in the field, hitting an LU800, all 4 coming back in an HD up to 1080p signal, hitting your studio, and then you switch it to studio and provide your outputs. The second way is what we call field switching mode. In this particular case, you've got the 4 cameras in the field, and you could field switch the one you want to come back. This could save you on data. It also might be because your final output is only an RTMP output, and it's going to go to a CDN. In that particular case, all I'm taking back is the final program feed and sending it out to wherever I want to send. So you've got 4 previews back at the studio. Kung will show you this in a little bit, by the way. You'll see your 4 previews, pick the signal you want, and we'll encode that signal and bring that one back. So you got field switching, and you got the traditional in the production room switching. 4K. This unit, in addition to having 4 HD, it's got native 4K already built in, with resolution rates up to being able to use 70 megabits per second on HEVC, add 10-bit HDR for more colors. And the thing I didn't mention previously, but I'll mention here, is audio. So if you've got 4 video signals coming, all 4 are going to get 4 audio channels. So you got up to 16 audio channels. If you're only sending one, you can actually get 8 audio channels on a single stream. So you've got some opportunity there with audio and video. And then here's a little bit of slide on 5G. And I talked about it at the top of the presentation, but now adding 5G to what we're already doing as far as our patented bonded cellular technology and LRT. We talked about it previously, but and in this particular case, with a couple things to mention with the LU800, 2 Wi-Fi connections, and I've actually got 2 internet connections. So 6 modems, some combination of 2G and 4G. You can have a couple 2G and 4G or 2G, 5G. I'm sorry, I say 2G, 5G and 2 4G. Anyway, you've got 6 modem connections. You've got 2 Wi-Fi connections. You've got 2 internet connections, and you're bringing all of that back to the studio. This is that right-hand pillar, if you remember at the top of the presentation. So you're in the field. How do you communicate? You need to get video. You got video return from the studio back to the people in the field. And this is all done, you got 2, in a TV production, there's 2 feeds that you can bring back. In a TV production, it might be a teleprompter, or it might be programmed. In a lot of the production environments, it's probably more likely going to be programmed. But there's 2 ways to bring video return. You've now got 2 audio connects. So the talent could be on one, and this is over IFB or intercom. It's a 2-way communication that allows 2 people to be on a sidebar communication system outside of the embedded audio and video that's coming in. In addition, tally. So if you are in that remote production, you got 4 cameras and you got, some talking heads and you got PTZs or you got cameras going, the switcher can basically get, let the people in the field know which one's hot. So you got tally, you got video return, you got audio connect, you've got IP pipe to give you full camera control. You could produce the entire event, like I said before, from 10, 50, 100 miles away. And then in addition to all of that, you might have an opportunity for, maybe you want to do post-production. So just keep in mind that while we're going live, we're also storing this. So now you got these video files sitting in the field that you want to get back and do maybe some post-production for B-roll or later repurposing the video content. So built within the system, again, Kung is going to show you this, you've got file transfer. But what's really cool about it is, look at those numbers. 100 times faster than what you've been used to maybe getting in on a public Wi-Fi or whatever. And even up to 5 times faster than what you'll see on 5G. So you got file transfer capabilities to go from the field back to a post-production type of environment. In addition, this is also ties into something we call data bridge. So you got cellular modems, you got an IP connection, you want to send data, you want to receive data. With the LU800, in our previous model, the LU600 and LU300, you can do that. You could send live video and you can also go into data bridge mode, but they do work independently. With the LU800, you're now doing them at the same time. So you're out there doing a live production, whether it's a corporate environment probably plays into this really, really well. You're doing live video production, but somebody wants to send a PowerPoint or somebody wants to send something back and forth. You've actually got this data bridge line open to be able to go back and forth with data at the same time that you're doing video. Multi-camera, going back again. We saw the 4 cameras. How do you do multi-camera? The LU800 starts off with something we call LU800 Pro, which I like to call the LU600 on steroids, right? So this is just a smoking hot unit with all of the things that we've already talked about, with the high bandwidth, the bit rate, the ability to do data bridge and live at the same time, et cetera, et cetera. Now you want to add a camera. So you can add a second camera, we call Pro 2. You want to add 3 more cameras, we call Pro 4, all right? And you can do this 3 different ways. You're going to do this all the time. Your production company or your events or whatever it is, you're going to do this all year long. So you can have an annual license, or if this is going to be a periodic thing where you want to go event by event basis and you're going to charge your customer based upon those events, You can license Pro 2 and Pro 4 monthly. You can even license it daily. So you've got the ability to essentially start off with a smoking hot LU800 Pro, single channel, 8 audio channels, all that, and then add Pro 2 and Pro 4 long-term or midterm. A little bit of the connectors, just to kind of as a reminder of the 2 audio channels for headsets. You got the 2 Ethernets. You got a couple different ways to get power in here. This is a 4-hour battery life device, by the way. But if you want to connect up AC/DC, you got that with a converter, or you could put an Anton Bauer on here and plug that in for extra power. The one I want to point out is really in the middle, which is the external cellular antenna connectors. So you can, in the 600, in the 300, you would connect to something we called an extender. In this case, you can actually go right on this device and add a few antennas for those difficult situations. Maybe it's a lot of people, or maybe you're just a little bit too far from the cell towers. This gives you a little more boost to basically add antennas to the device. And then last but not least, you see the 2 screws in the middle, in the lower right-hand corner, the orange arrow pointing to 2x6 SIM slots. All right, so you fold that down and you've got access to 12 SIMs. 6 for most of you are US. That's your AT&T, your T-Mobile, and your Verizon. On the bottom side, we call the B side, you've got AT&T Global Roaming. But you've also got that ability if maybe you're US and Canada, maybe you just want to make it US and Canada. So you've got the ability from the outside of the unit to change your SIMs. A little bit on the input side, we talked about it previously, but there's your 4 SDI connectors. So 4 times HD up to 1080p 60, 4 times 3G for a 4K camera that's 4x3G, or 1x1 12G. You just go into the far left. There's your SD card to expand your live and store capability. You got HDMI out, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, but that's how you would go and take your video return signal and put that on a big screen. And you know, the rest of it is pretty self-explanatory. So that's my piece. And now it gets a little more exciting and interesting with who we like to call the man, the myth, and the legend. This is Kung T, and he is our LiveU Professional Solutions Engineer. Over to you, Kung.
Hello, guys. Kung T, LiveU Sales Engineer out of Oklahoma City. Let me share my screen. All right. So, Scott, can you see my screen fine?
I can. Perfect.
All right. So this is LiveU Central. This is the command and control web platform. I'm going to explain a little bit about what it looks like, but today we're going to focus on demoing the LU800 and kind of showing you how that would work. But let me explain LiveU Central first. Once you log in, you'll see your units list tab. This will show you all your different encoders, like Scott had mentioned. From there, you can go to the left side, which is your filter side. From here, you'll see that you can see everything that's online, transmitting, offline. I can go ahead and select it, but then it populates the stuff that's not online. Filter that out so that I can see a little bit better. A lot of times the list will fill up, so it would be hard to manage the different units, but the filter tab allows you to do that. From here, the unit list, we also have a multi-view. This will kind of show you the view of what's on the encoder, what's on the decoder. If it was transmitting, we'll go back to this here in a bit so we can see. Scott had mentioned file upload. You can go here, find your files, do your file upload to the server. From the server, you can pull it back in. Here's all my files. And then we have a map location to kind of show you where the unit is based on cellular triangulation. If I zoom out, I can see all the different ones in my group, and just kind of let you see where everything's located, if that is useful. Go back to the units. We're going to go ahead and go to the next tab, is the file tab. This tab right here will show you all the files you have on the server and then allow you to download it to your laptop itself or a MAM system or wherever you keep your files. From there, we can go into the manage and then your channels. These are your decoders. You see all my decoders here. I can go ahead in there and set the different options as far as double clicking on it, channel name, SDI, overlay if I want to. On this channel, I have a graphic overlay of my LiveU logo, position, size, streaming options, RTMP, set it up here, all the different information as far as the primary URL, stream ID. That's on the server settings. And then if I wanted to add different graphics, we have the graphic overlay tab. This is where I would import my graphics. We have an option to support tally lights so that you can tell whenever the unit is transmitting, when the unit's on air, off air. And then we have a manage audio interface that will allow you to map your audio channels to your server. This is used for IFB so that you can send audio to the field and then get audio response back from the field themselves. I have another channel, video return tab. This will show me all my different video return channels. We'll talk about this more here in a bit. There's my videos coming through, and we'll go back to the unit list tab. This is the main tab that I'm going to be using. Today we're talking about my LU800. There it is. I have it selected. And then on the right side, I get a lot more different control features. From here, you can see the channel or the unit name, where the device is located, the battery percentage. On the LU800, you'll see camera, single camera, multi-camera, and then video return. I'm going to show you off just the single camera first.
Turn it out real quick, Tom,
Yes, sir.
at the top.
What was that?
Expand your unit.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So basically, real quick, just to put it in a nutshell, servers, encoders on the left, decoders are what we call channels, pretty much on the right, with the ability with LiveU Central to see your transport system. You're seeing all your modems here or whatever's lit up, but this goes back to the original slide of encode, decode, and transport. And you're seeing all that now, and then Kung's going to give you a little bit more of the bells and whistles around that.
All right. So Scott went through that single camera. I expanded it. I got to see where the unit is located. The bit rate, you see that there's nothing right now because there's no stream going on. Wi-Fi, yellow means it's not connected. Modem 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and my 2 Ethernets. You'll see that the data will pick up, the graphs will start rolling once I start to stream itself. So from here, I have 2 modes that I can operate in. Live mode means we're going to transmit the video live at the bit rate at this certain delay. This delay is what we call our precision timing. As long as all the units are set to the same delay, it will be frame accurate. So live mode, you can stream live to the output of the server. The server will then give you SDI, NDI, or RTMP, as Scott mentioned. So that is the live mode. We also store a copy onto the unit itself. And you can transfer that copy back to the server, or if you don't do anything with it, we'll auto delete it as far as when we need space. Store and forward is an option to store the clip onto your encoder, and then cellular reception, Ethernet reception, whatever that might be, we start transferring the file, a file transfer to the actual server itself. So you're not going to see preview, you're not going to see live video, but this is used for, you don't need somebody to see it, or if you go into a challenging cellular situations to where you might get drops and the video, once we stop communicating, the video drops. This will kind of keep it going. And then whenever a cell picks back up, we'll transfer the video to the server itself. The server you want us to transfer it to, the quality, H.264 high quality, HEVC high quality, there are 2 different formats that you can save it in. The start button over here, modems down here. I'm going to go ahead, now that I have everything, I'm going to go live mode. I'm going to send it to this server at this delay, and then I can hit start. You see the bit rate over here. This bit rate will start building up. Yeah, I have it set to 4.2 megs per second. That is the, we've got together with the broadcasters, that's the best bang for the buck. And as you can see, there's my camera on top of me. And the bit rate's there. So right now I'm sending this stream to my server. The server is giving out SDI to my switcher. I can also send this to CDN if I wanted to, whether I hit my CDN button or, and then all my predefined sources are already here, my YouTube page, or I can do the one touch to Facebook. Hit the Facebook button. It goes ahead and brings up my Facebook profile. It's using whoever is logged into the Chrome browser, not my own timeline. I want a page that I manage, Tech Corner, a private page, video resolution. I can go next. It's gonna set up the video itself, and then I can add to my post what's on my mind. I'm gonna just go ahead and add something here. And then I can go to Facebook Live. And then I'm gonna give it a second and go to my Facebook. This is my Tech Corner page. Come down here, there was some old video. You see my video just pulled up. I'm gonna go ahead and just hit refresh so I can get it in the post. And then there it is right there. That's as easy as it takes to get to another CDN source, RTMP source.
So if you were doing something like field switching, what Kong was showing you there, once you're all set up, you got those 4 feeds and you're doing field switching, you could bring that all back and you're just essentially got a one touch to go over the top. Or if you're doing, you know, SDI out and over the top at the same time, which you can do to your online media, he's just showing you there what it is. Once it's all set up, you're one touch to send your video stream out.
Whenever I'm ready, if I'm done, there's 2 stop options. If I just want to stop going to Facebook, but still go to the server, I can hit stop here. Or if I stop it going to the server, it's going to cut Facebook off as well. And this is single camera. So any of our units, they're 300 or the 600, it's the same operating method. I'm going to go ahead and stop it right now. And then go back to here. All right, so we are going to look at the multicam mode now. So I have multicam here. I'm gonna go in here and and then I'm gonna go ahead and here's all my 3 cameras, and then the 4th one is not connected. So in my live mode here, I have my cameras. I'm gonna go ahead and do the 3 camera selection. The server I wanna send it to, the delay, and then all my same features over here. I can hit start. And you'll see that the bit rate will start building up. These are the 3 channels. I'm demoing the 3 sources right now. And since each stream is at 4.2 megs per second, I should get, you know, about 12-ish, a little over 12 as my total bandwidth bit rate. You see the modem charts over here, the graphs, the different things like that. So I'm sending it to my quad server. So out the SDI port 1, I will see this video. Out the SDI 2, I'll see this video. And out the SDI port, I'll see this video. I have it repeating right now through a SDI repeater. I can go ahead and blow it up. And remember, this right here is only low res features, but I should be able to, you know, see the different sources, change it. Now all these sources would run into my production switcher, my router. There'll be 3 different sources, and then they can switch between the 2. Hopefully, most of the time, these will be separate videos. That is the multicam mode. We have a switcher mode to where each one of these screens will be a low res proxy, and then only one of them will go full res to save you on bandwidth, because the higher the bandwidth you use, or the more bandwidth you use, the more data it's going to cost.
I'm all ready for your video return, Kung.
Yes. All right. So then right now I'm transmitting. I can go ahead and go start my video return on these units as well. I can come in here. I see my video right here. I can go start video return. And now my LU800 is going to also play video, this video out of it. And it's in my background. But let's go ahead and go back to Scott. I'm going to stop it on my unit. And then Scott, I'm going to stop my share so that you can see it on your, so everybody can see it bigger on your screen.
Yeah.
But the video return server is another one RU rack mount server with two SDI inputs. So whatever source you want to give the server is what it's going to send out.
So here's my LU800. Give you a little bit of a view of that, kind of flip it around a little bit here. Right now it's in multicam mode. So if I was in the field, I'd be sending 4 streams over to Kung. I'm in multicam mode. I can just go simply over to video return mode, open up my video return options. I see that Kung's out there. He wants to give me video return. I hit start and voila, I'm basically pulling video return, which in this particular case might be program out. What I've done here is I've actually taken that HDMI connector, I've plugged it into my 50-inch over the top of my shoulder, and you can see the video return coming out, you know, on the 50-inch screen over the top of my shoulder from Kung. With the LU800, this is, you know, fairly well show monitor type of capability. Now, if you were doing a sports event, you're going to get some speed or whatever, but video return back, and that just shows you basically from Kung's unit back to mine, and it's that simple. If I had, as you might have saw on my screen, I had 6 or 7 different video returns on there. I could be in a multiple different groups to be able to see video return from a number of different places. Now, for a single event, that's probably not what you're going to need. But if you're setting up a remote production facility and your business is growing, you could be producing 3-4 shows at the same time. So it just shows you the capabilities that you've got with your video return in and out of the field. Back to you, Kung.
All right, Scott. So that was the video return, the LU800, everything that, you know, how you would use it. There's a lot of different options that we didn't cover, but, you know, contact us if you would like more in-depth demo. Great job,
Kung. And folks, I understand we had, you know, a few people in the other Zoom session that joined a little bit late. So maybe didn't have enough chance to ask questions, but if you do have any questions, just hit the like button in Zoom here or in the chat room. There's a like button, and we can unmute you and start asking some questions. I'm going to pull my slides back up just to give everybody a little bit of a picture that may stimulate some questions for you.
Scott, you have a question in the chat room.
All right. Hold on a minute. I got to pull this off then. I got to get back to the chat room. Okay. Let me see here. Let me get everyone. All right, we got a question from Jacques Reardon. Can this technology be used with NUCs with an ROI setup and master control room at the broadcast station? Kung, can you see that question, and can I send that one over to you?
Yeah, I mean, you can. There's not, I would need a little bit more elaboration as far as, you know, the server can sit in any control room and receive the signal itself. You can run the units off of Ethernet, Wi-Fi, cellular, and be able to transmit it back in.
Another question from Steve, and he's asking, are all of these features active now for LU800 users? All of them, with the exception of the field switching, which is due out in a matter of days. That's the one with the slide where you can do the field switching and send back a single signal. That'll be just a software upgrade. As soon as that's available, you know, that'll be available to everyone. Can multiple LU800s, this is a question from Chris Ellison, thank you. Can multiple LU800s in multi-camera mode be decoded in sync? Yes, you would in that particular case, you would have a couple LU800s. You would need, you know, a second server for your second LU800, but they can all be made to be in sync at your, you know, all, you know, let's say it's 2, you would have 8 all in sync at the switcher. I see a question here just came in. Let's see, from Sam Atkinson. What's the difference between LU800 and LU300? So LU800 is everything you just saw. LU 300 is essentially 1-to-1. So you would put one camera on one single LU 300, and that signal would be coming back. You could put 4 independent 300s on, and that would be another version of multi-camera, but it would also be multi LU 300s. Some of the other features, video return, and some of the other features, 4K. We could get into the entire list, but the 800 is got more than a 300. But the number one would be the. But both of them do use HEVC, by the way, and send HD up to 1080p. Is from George Vick. Is the comms IFB feature plug and play with any compatible headset / earpiece? I'll let Kung take that one. I know the answer, but I'd like to let him.
Yeah, the earpiece is a 3.5 millimeter jack, TRRS connection. So, any headset that would work on a cell phone will work on the actual unit itself as well. So just make sure the pins are correct.
Thank you, Kung. And by the way, on the other end, your audio device could be, there's about 1 or 7 or 8 of them. Kung has a list of them that would be connected to your server in the studio from a number of different manufacturers for the device you would use in the studio. From Chip Adams, Scott, what was the typical latency on the return circuit in the LU 800? That's going to be 900 milliseconds. So it's going to be from the video return server back to my 800 or your 600 is going to be 900 milliseconds. And it takes embedded audio as well as, along with the video. So back at the 800, you have the choice in your earpiece to say, give me IFB or give me the audio, or give me the audio out. So you've also got selections of what audio you're taking. Mr. Ray Colbert, hello, Ray. When field switching comes out, will you be able to store still graphics in the unit to use as sources in addition to the camera input? Kung's head's going back and forth.
No, there is no feature like that to just send a still image to the server.
You could send it using the data bridge mode, Ray. So, on the 800, you could be sending a still image across data bridge, but it wouldn't be arriving as a, one of the camera inputs to hit your switcher. Let's see, from George Vick again. Hi, George. It is still recommended to upload at 4 megabits per second per channel using HEVC. Yeah, I mean, that's the recommended. It's 4.2. You can raise it, you can lower it. If you want to play with, your cellular bandwidth, you could start, playing around with, lowering your bit rate. Obviously the picture quality will change as you go up and down. So it's really becomes a balance with what you want on the other end versus now, if you were in an internet or a Wi-Fi connectivity, it doesn't matter to you. It would probably be more if you're trying to manage your cellular time. From Chip Adams, if connected to an Ethernet circuit, what is the max bandwidth out of the LU 800 and what is the maximum bit rate per video channel? Kung, you got that math?
Yeah, it is 20 megs per channel. So then if you do 4, you can get all the way up to
and what's our total bandwidth capability in the 800, Kung?
I believe 80 megs per second.
Right. So if you were running data bridge, Chip, simultaneously, you might, take your video down to 18 or something like that to just leave yourself a little bit of headroom for data bridge. But yeah, you could get up to 80 total and then start dividing it between your video. If it's 100% video, then go get on the internet and go 20/20/20. Mike Brand, is the latency of the send and return the exact same? No. So the send is going to be as low as 800 milliseconds on cellular, as low as 600 milliseconds on the internet, but the latency on the return will be 900. So you're looking at between 1.5 and 1.7 on your round trip between the two. And I got a thank you, which is very nice. Oh, Arcelius, I hope I said that right, Arcelius. Is there a new network TCP open ports lists for the LU800? Kung?
They are the same as the other units as well. All the different encoders, still the same ports.
Doug, you want to add anything at the to the end about Mr. Davidson?
There's so many anticipated uses for this 800 now. We've been getting quite a number of calls on them, and I think we're going to probably see about 2 or 3 orders here shortly. It's just only limited to your imagination as to what you can do with either the 800 or any of the other products. And when you think about the entire product line, starting all the way down with, even LU Smart, LiveU just has a wide range of offerings for just about anybody that has anything to do with video.
Thanks, Doug. No, I appreciate it. And again, just as kind of a little bit of a reminder slide there, whatever, but it's, just to kind of wrap things up and be, cognizant of everybody's time. It's once again, just taking things, changing the rules of the game, taking things to a whole new level. I think sports is a huge opportunity for this. And I think especially of indoor sports, but also, outdoor sports, right? But essentially, we're seeing it with even some of the largest sports entities around the country who essentially are using LiveU, for instance, for spring training baseball, without mentioning any names, but spring training baseball, where they used to send SAT trucks and buy SAT time and send maybe 15, 20 people, put all those people in hotels and food, and you get it. You get the cost. Cables running everywhere. And now all we're doing is sending a LiveU, and in this case, maybe not a LiveU LU800, setting everything up and seeing 75% cost savings. I think if you're in the production world, if you're a university or you're an enterprise, you could see where this could go relative to just leaving your studio at home. And you've now got the ability to send out, an LU800, 4 cameras, even 4 PTZs, and set all this up. And now sitting back at your studio, you could be producing 3, 4 events at the same time. I mean, that'd be great, right? If, those sorts of, opportunities were, coming in and knocking on the door, but it gives you that ability to be able to do that and be able to respond really quickly to RFQs and whatever, to basically say, yeah, we got that covered and we can do it. Because you're not going to have to move people. You're not going to have to worry about whether your guy was COVID tested and get on the airplane or not. You got all of this stuff, and you can essentially send the equipment out and do all these different events. We find people buying it for one thing, and as Doug said, I think before, nothing surprises Doug anymore at DVG, because they buy it for one thing and then they find out they can do 2, 3, and 4 different things with it. So that's unless there was any more, I'll check.
It looks like you have some more, Scott.
We do have some more questions. All right, let me get back to the chat room. And let me stop sharing my screen here. Get back to the chat room. All right, let's see. Let me scroll up a little bit to start from where we were. Hold on. Okay. Is the NDI output only available at the physical server location, or can it be accessed over the internet for secondary studios? Come.
So NDI, you have to have a route there to be able to discover it. Usually it has to be on the same subnet. Physical server can give that NDI out. We've done some on the cloud server as well in people's virtual environment or cloud environment. But you would have to do the routing necessary to get the NDI if you wanted to go through the internet itself.
From Chip Adams, thanks, Kung. Any special timing requirements when putting multiple LU 800 together to cover large events? No, but one of the things that Kung pointed out in his thing that, you know, we go through it pretty quickly, but there's a thing called delay. All right, so, you know, go 800 milliseconds, you know, and as long, but let's say you decided you want to go 1 second. As long as you move 1 second on both LU 800s, Chip, you're going to be fine. So you just want to make sure the delay on each one of your encoders is the same. As long as the delay is set on the same, precision timing takes care of everything on the server end for you to bring everything back at the same time. So a couple of questions about getting a copy of the presentation. Yes, we're going to make this available for playback. Let's see. George Vick from George Clipple. George Vick. Let's see. Okay, I think that's just George.
Here's the answer.
Yeah. Is there any other questions? We're at the top of the hour. Did we get them all? If not, you know, we'll give you everybody another 30 seconds to pop the last question or two in. While we're doing that, I do want to thank everyone. I want to thank obviously Doug from Digital Video Group and Kung, obviously over to you, but really more, we want to thank all of you for attending today and asking great questions. And you know, reach out to us. Joyce will be sending out a copy of this, and you'll be able to reach out to us for more questions, and we can go one-on-one with you to really dig further into your application and your needs, and then come up with a solution to help you meet those needs. With that, I want to say thank you and sign off. Have a great week.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone.